Hello everyone, my name is DarkHero and welcome back to my channel where we cover Monster Hunter content. PC players are finally able to fight the ancient Leshen and Monster Hunter world in the quest contract Woodland Spirit. As such, here's a video highlighting some builds I would suggest using in this difficult hunt. I have also made a video where I give you all of the tips to lead to my group succeeding this fight quite easily. If you would like to watch that video, there will be a link to it in the description and in the top right corner of the screen.
First, let's go over the bow, since that is the weapon that I have been using the most against the ancient Leshen, and that is also the same build that you guys have been asking about the most. We are going to be using the Enjanath bow, the Enja Arc 3, which comes with 240 base attack, has 20% negative affinity, 390 fire element, and comes with the close range coating, power coating and blast coating. And for augmentations we're going to be adding 2 affinity increases with 1 health regen. This will leave us with 5% negative affinity. We would be able to get to 0% affinity if we got a 3rd affinity increase, but I personally feel like it's best to go with the health regen. The way that I see it is, if I get hit and I need to stop attacking to heal myself, then my DPS drops down to 0. However, if I have the health regen augmentation and I'm able to heal myself while dealing damage, even though I may be missing out on a bit of DPS when I am using the weapon, whenever I get hit I don't have to drop my DPS to 0 to heal myself. Basically, the health regen augmentation just reduces downtime. But of course, if you can manage to avoid every single attack that the ancient Leshen throws at you, then by all means go for a 3rd affinity increase augmentation. Now for the armor, we are prioritizing critical element, the Rathlow's mastery set bonus that requires us to have 2 Rathlow's pieces, and I also chose to go with the Rathlow's coil beta, which gives us fire attack level 2 and 1 level 2 decoration slot. For the headpiece, I chose to go with the Gala Suit Top Hat Alpha, which comes with critical boost level 1, 1 level 2 decoration slot and 2 level 1 decoration slots. For the arms, I chose to go with the Kaiser Vambraces Gamma, which comes with critical eye level 3 and 1 level 3 decoration slot. And finally, for the legs, I chose to go with the Kaiser Greaves Gamma, which comes with critical eye level 2, a level 3 decoration slot and a level 1 decoration slot. And finally, for the charm, I have the Fitness Charm 3 to get Constitution level 3. After slotting 2 Blaze Jewels, 2 Expert Jewels, 1 Force Shot, 1 Spread and 1 Mighty Bow Jewel, we end up with the following skills. Critical Element, which increases the elemental damage of our weapon when landing critical hits. Critical Eye level 7, which gives us 30% additional affinity. Fire Attack level 4, which is obviously going to increase the fire elemental attack power. Weakness Exploit level 3, which gives us a 50% increased affinity whenever we hit the weak spots. Constitution level 3 to reduce the stamina depletion that we get from the bow. Normal Shots level 1, which increases the attack power of normal arrows. Power Shots, which increases the attack power of power shot arrows. Critical Boost level 1, which increases the damage of critical hits from 1.25 to 1.3. And finally, Bow Charge Plus, which increases the max bow charge level by 1. With this, we get a total of 510 fire elements on our bow, as well as 75% affinity. Again, if I chose to go for a 3rd affinity augmentation, I could increase that to 80%, but I think I prefer to go with health regen. This build will of course allow us to keep our distance from the Leshen, which uses a lot of close range attacks, especially the ones where he surrounds himself with the roots and he does AoE attacks. And due to the bow's movement, we can also evade the ranged attacks very easily. And given that it's a bow, we can aim at the horns and hit the weak spot. You shouldn't have any trouble making this build. It doesn't require any rare decorations apart from maybe the spread shot or the mighty bow. But besides that, it doesn't really require anything too special, and I think it's going to be quite enjoyable build to use against the ancient Leshen. That being said, if you are not confident about your skills with the bow and you think you're going to get hit by the ancient Leshen, then consider replacing the 2 fire attack jewels for 2 health boost jewels so you have an easier time against the ancient Leshen. Alternatively, you could go with something like the Kiarbo King, which has 234 base attack, has 15% affinity, 270 fire element, 1 level 1 decoration slot, comes with the critical element skill, which means you have a lot more freedom when it comes to creating your build, and comes with the power and the paralyzed coatings. Don't get me wrong, the Kiarbo King is definitely a very powerful bow and might just be better than the Enjanath bow because of critical element and what you can do with it. But having said that, not everyone is going to have access to the Kiarbo King, given that there is a lot of RNG behind it, and so I decided to make my build around a weapon that everyone can get. But now let's move on to the second build. With this build I wanted to focus a bit more on defense, a defensive playstyle that is going to work well against the Ancient Leshen. That is why I chose to go with the lance, more specifically the Kiar Crest King. It has 391 base attack, 10% affinity, 390 fire element, and comes with wide sharpness off the bat. And of course, being a Kiar weapon, it comes with the skill critical element already in the weapon. That being said, we will not have to work around our build to get critical element since we already have it in our weapon, and as a result we will have more freedom when it comes to managing our skills. So for armor pieces I chose to go with the full Draken armor set except for the legs, in which I chose to go for the Empress Beta, which gives us health boost level 2. And then for the charm I chose to go for the Iron Side charm, which gives us guard level 3. Then after slotting 1 vitality jewel, 1 expert jewel, 3 tenderizer jewels, 1 critical jewel and 3 blaze jewels, we end up with Master's Touch, Elemental Airborne, critical element, critical eye level 7, critical boost level 3, health boost level 3, guard level 3, fire attack level 3, weakness exploit level 3, airborne level 1, attack boost level 1, and power prolonger level 1. Of course we are trying to build up as much affinity as we can in order to take advantage of the critical boost skill and of the critical element skill as well. And with this build we managed to get 90% affinity. Now if you wanted to go for 100% affinity, you could replace the health augment for an affinity augment and you would be able to reach it that way, but I feel like the lance is the type of weapon that needs the health regen augment because it is more of a defensive weapon and you will be taking chip damage from all of the hits that you will be blocking. And because you will be blocking many attacks and every time that you do you will reduce your sharpness, you want to have as much white sharpness as you can. And because we want to maintain that white sharpness as much as possible, that is why we have the Master's Touch skill. Guard level 3 is there so that it greatly decreases the impact of attacks and reduces stamina depletion by 15% whenever we are blocking. So that is what is going to allow you to tank many of the Ancient Leshen's attacks. And just in case you're not able to block any of the incoming attacks, that is why we have health boost level 3, because again we're trying to make a defensive build and by having this skill you're able to get 50 extra health. And keep in mind that this stacks with the canteen buffs, so you could even go up to 200 health. And lastly, fire attack level 3 and attack boost level 1 is just there to increase our damage. Now you could replace these 3 blaze jewels for attack jewels so that we could get attack boost level 4, which would then give us a significant boost to our attack and would also give us 5% extra affinity. But I think that it is preferable to go for 3 blaze jewels so that you have fire attack level 3 so that you can take even more advantage of the critical element skill. But I may be wrong on this, I may be doing the math wrong here, so if anyone knows whether or not it's best to go with attack boost level 4 or attack boost level 1 and fire attack level 3, please let me know in the comment section down below. And the third and final build that I want to showcase in this video is a hunting horn support build. Because let's face it, if you want to have an easy time against the Ancient Leshen, nothing is going to make it easier than having a good support player on your team. Especially if they are a Sword and Shield player that can heal at any time, or if they are a Hunting Horn player that can buff the entire team. So with that being said, here is my supportive set. We are using the Deep Vero Hunting Horn, that is the Devil Jaw Hunting Horn, because it comes with the best buffs in my opinion. It has attack up large, health boost large, defense up large, and finally wind pressure. We don't really care about wind pressure, but attack up large and defense up large can turn into attack up extra large and defense up extra large if you encore the buffs. And health boost is just a nice bonus to have in case anyone in your team doesn't max out their health. This hunting horn comes with 924 base attack, negative 30% affinity, and 240 dragon element, but again, we only care about the buffs. the attack and the element don't really matter too much, and we're not trying to make an offensive build, so we're not going to mess around with the affinity. So that is why for the augments I would recommend you go for 2 health regen augmentations, just so you can keep your health in check and you're never going to be taken down by the Ancient Leshen or whatever monster may come at you for that matter. Now for the armor pieces, we are using the Empress Gamma headpiece, the Kulftaroth Beta chest piece, the Empress Beta arms, the Valhazak Gamma waist, the Empress Beta legs, and for the charm I went for the Luten's charm, which is going to give us Speed Eating level 3. Speed Eating level 3 is just going to make it so that we can consume the items we use much faster, and so we don't have to spend as much time just waiting for them to activate, and we can use them on a pinch to heal a teammate, for example, in case they are running out of health and are in desperate need of some good healing. And after slotting way too many decorations for me to be naming here, we end up with Stamina Cap up as part of the Lunastra set bonus, Wide Range level 5 to be able to heal our allies as much as possible and with maximum efficiency, Stun Resistance level 3 so that we are never stunned by any monster and we are never caught unaware and we are always able to be up and healing our teammates, Recovery Speed level 3, which quadruples the speed at which you heal recoverable damage. However, this does not work for your teammates. If only you have recovery speed, it's not going to affect your teammates unfortunately, but you're going to be able to heal yourself nearly instantly, so that is why I chose to go with this. Health Boost level 3 is going to give you 50 extra points to your health. Recovery Up level 3 is going to increase the amounts of health that is recovered by 30%. However, again, just like with recovery speed, this does not affect your teammates in case they don't have this skill as well, but regardless, it is a very nice skill to have because you're going to be able to restore a very large portion of your health just by consuming a mega potion. Flinch Free level 2 will prevent standard knockbacks and tripping is reduced to a knockback instead. This is particularly useful against the Ancient Leshen because it makes it so that the attacks that the Ancient Leshen uses where he sends a flock of birds are not going to bring you down to the floor. You're not going to trip with those attacks, except for the one where the Ancient Leshen summons a huge flock of birds. That one you're going to have to dodge, otherwise you're going to be taken to the ground. But essentially this skill is here so that you are not interrupted while you are trying to heal your teammates. Maybe in a critical situation, this can be a lifesaver for one of your teammates, so that is why I chose to bring it with me. Dragon Attack level 2 is there because it's a byproduct of the Valhazak Gamma waist, and because I had a spare decoration slot and I couldn't think of anything else to put into this build, so I decided to go for the Dragon Jewel because it's going to increase our elemental attack by 30 extra points on top of what it was with Dragon Attack level 1 for a total of 300 Dragon element, so that is going to be good against monsters that are weak to Dragon, which is not the case against the Ancient Leshen, but again I didn't know what else to put in here. Peak Performance level 1 is just a byproduct of the set that we are using, but of course it gives us 5 extra points of attack whenever our health is full, which isn't too difficult to do considering the build that we have going here. Critical Boost level 1 is going to increase the damage of our critical hits by 30%, but given that our weapon has negative 30% affinity, we are probably never going to be able to score a single critical hit. So again, this is just a byproduct of the armor pieces we're using. Free meal is going to make it so that we have a 25% chance of each time that we consume an item, we're not going to actually spend it, it is going to be consumed for free, and so you're going to be able to maintain your supplies for much longer, and this is pretty much an essential skill for any support players, because otherwise you're going to just burn through your resources, especially in such a difficult encounter as the Ancient Leshen. And finally, Horn Maestro, another essential skill for any Hunting Horn player. This quite simply extends the melody effect's duration and increases health recovery. Our Hunting Horn does not come with health recovery, so that is not going to affect us, but increasing the duration of our melodies is always useful, especially if you're someone that is new to Hunting Horn and sometimes forgets to loop the melodies, so this way you will not have to worry about refreshing the buffs as much. This is a very powerful build, one of the best ones in my opinion. It is the best one that I have found so far when it comes to supporting our players, and is probably the build that I have shown that is going to give you the highest chance of succeeding against the Ancient Leshen. If you need any more tips when it comes to defeating the Ancient Leshen, feel free to check my complete guide on the Ancient Leshen. The link to it is down below in the description, and you can also watch it by clicking the eye icon on screen. With that being said though, if you have enjoyed this video, then please leave it a like, as it takes less than a second and it helps me out a lot. Subscribe if you're new to the channel and turn on show notifications if you don't want to miss an ounce of Monster Hunter goodness. If you want to vote on what my next Monster Hunter Top 10 or Top 5 video will be, then head on over to Patreon and become a patron like these beautiful people. A big thank you to my patrons for choosing to support me and helping me keep this channel alive. You guys are my heroes, and a special thank you to Guild Arts Gaming for being a mighty hero. With that being said, thank you all so much for watching. My name is DarkHero, and happy hunting!